Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Gurok here, casual gamer dad, coming at you guys with another Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker job review video. This is video number 6. This will be our 6th job review, maybe 7th. I lost track. I'm sorry. I apologize. But today we are reviewing, as I mentioned probably last week, in my 6.1 review video, but we're reviewing the Paladin. Please excuse the glamour on the weapon itself. I know it doesn't match the armor, but as you can see, I've got my glorious PvP armor, and I'm never taking it off. It's just too cool looking. So anyway, we did it. We got Paladin to 90. We are currently working on Dark Knight. That'll be the next level 90 job, so look forward to that. I was set to put this video out about like 2 weeks ago. We got Paladin leveled up pretty quick, but because 6.1 was right around the corner and I knew some job changes were going to happen, I didn't really want to do a job review, give my opinions and thoughts, and then like have a couple things change and be like, oh wow, this is like totally different. So yeah, so I decided to wait, give it some time, and do things right. And so that's what I'm doing. So we're going to go reverting back to the kind of old kind of script, I guess you could say, or layout of what this video will be. We'll do like our overall outlook and just thoughts of how the job handles at 90. We'll go over the new goodies, skills and traits that it got, anything that's old that got changed, and like how does it compare to, say, a Realm Reborn and or Heavensward Paladin versus the now. We'll rate its fashion, aesthetic stuff, and then just give it its final, is it fun, is it not fun, thumbs up, thumbs down sort of summary. So let's get in to the bizzo with it. So how does Paladin handle at level 90? How does it feel, especially compared to, obviously my all-time favorite job in the game, Warrior? I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna be straight up and honest with you guys. First and foremost, I was for years very, very, very biased against Paladin. Now, there were many reasons for it, many reasons for it. A lot of it stemmed from the fact that I did come to Final Fantasy XIV from World of Warcraft, where, as you all know, if you ever caught any of my World of Warcraft content back when I did play, I was a warrior main there, and of course warriors, if you wanted to tank, you had to sword and board it. There was no other options. You couldn't fury tank, dual wield, you couldn't two-hand tank as arms, you had to sword and board it as prot. So I was already really tired of the whole sword and board kind of style of tanking. And I don't know, Paladin to me, at least way back in the day, was very, very boring to play. And even though Warrior was absolute terrible to play as a tank in patch 2.0, 2.0? Yeah, 2.0. Paladin it just wasn't worth it for me to like re-roll the Paladin. I just didn't like it. I didn't like it. That's just all it was. I just didn't like it. Now, these days, I've kind of changed my tone. I'm not saying I would re-roll from Warrior to Paladin, no. But now that I have it at level 90, if someone were to ask me like, hey, do you want to join this group as a tank? We could really use a Paladin, because like maybe they already have a Warrior or something. I would say, yeah, sure, I would do it. Because nowadays at level 90, Paladin is fun. They're fluid. They always have something to do. And let's be honest, they have a combination, and what I think for a tank is the perfect combination of usage of physical melee abilities with magic abilities, fitting the Paladin-esque theme, I guess you could say. I would say, as a tank, as a job, as a whole perspective, it gets the job done. It gets it done really well. They are tanky. They've got really decent self-healing, especially now since 6.1. Not as much as a warrior, but they do have good self-healing. And they've got tons and tons of abilities to use. Their physical burst plus their magical burst just gives them so many different utilities during boss fights. It's amazing. You need it, you got it. So moving on, let's go over some of the things that they got, some of the things that have changed. Now, following the same pattern, and I'm seeing this pattern a lot with a lot of jobs out there, and we're not really getting much, if anything, new in Endwalker. Rather, instead, we're getting new abilities, quote unquote, which are just upgrades to older abilities. So you'll see here at 82, Paladins gain Holy Sheltron, 86, Expiation. I'm not sure how to say that properly. And they're listed as new skills, but if you check out their traits, it's kind of, you see they're really just upgrades. So this is where mostly the meat and potatoes is going to happen right here. So Sheltron Mastery at 82, which changes Sheltron to Holy Sheltron, which is, I guess, the Paladin's equivalent to, I guess, Bloodwetting, you could say. Where regular Sheltron, which for 6 seconds just blocks all the incoming attacks, costs 50 gauge, technically has a 5-second recast. Not a big deal on that one, though. You never really notice it. Holy Sheltron has an 8-second duration, where you block all incoming attacks. You gain Knight's Resolve, as you can see here. It reduces damage taken by 15% for 4 seconds. And then you also gain Knight's Benediction, which gives you a heal over time for a 250 potency for 12 seconds. Still costs 50 gauge. Not much has changed. You're going to basically keep using this every chance you really get. And it is a really amazing cooldown. The heal over time is nice. Gives you that little padding. The damage reduction, obviously, for 4 seconds is amazing. And then, of course, you're blocking everything under the sun, which just makes it really good on big mob pulls. At 84, we get... at 82, you also get Enhanced Intervention, which is just like... It's the same thing as Holy Sheltron, just for a different target. So if you want to put it on a party member, say it's a main tank off tank situation, you want to put it on your main, your off tank, and you want to put it on the main tank. It's the same exact thing. They're basically giving Holy Sheltron to somebody else. You very rarely ever use this in dungeon content. Like I said, you'll use this in raid or trial content where, like, if you're not the main tank, you'll throw it on whoever is emptying or something like that. 84, Divine Magic Mastery, basically gives you a healing effect to Holy Spirit, Holy Circle. Now, before patch 6.1, and this is why I wanted to wait, before patch 6.1, it only affected Holy Spirit and Holy Circle. So basically your Magic Burst, your Holy Spirit on single target, cure potency 400 of a heal every time you use it. Holy Circle, which is your AoE, cure potency of 400 every time you use it. Now, keep in mind, with Holy Circle, this is only one heal for a potency of 400 when you use it. You are not, it's not a bloodwetting situation. You're not going to get a heal for every single target that you hit. It's not going to happen. It's just a one-time 400 potency heal every time you use it. So you got to keep that in mind. Don't think you're going to go crazy with it, because I did make that mistake. I got too crazy with it. But now, as of patch 6.1, it also adds a healing effect of a cure potency of 400, of course, to Confiteor, which is the last, as anyone who plays Paladin knows, it's the last hit that you're going to use in your Requiescat combo. And that wasn't there before, so it just adds you just a little bit more healing, which is nice. At level 86, Spirits Within Mastery, which of course links into Expiation, this move. It's just an upgrade. It's the same thing as Holy Spirit. Off global cooldown, does damage. This time, instead of just a single target, it hits all enemies nearby it. 340 for the first enemy, obviously less damage for those that are around you. It just gives you a little more AoE on dungeon pulls. You're still going to use it off cooldown on single target. Restores MP. Not much has changed there. At level 88, Enhanced Divine Veil. This is pretty nice. It gives you a healing effect on your Divine Veil with a cure potency of 400. So again, that's just more healing for you. Something that is also nice, which I'll go over in a minute, is the change they gave you to Divine Veil as of Endwalker, but I'll touch on that in a minute. So don't let me forget about that. And then, of course, at level 90 is the big boy specials that we got to see in the class action trailer that everybody went bananas over, and I think it's pretty cool too. You get Blade of Faith, Blade of Truth, and Blade of Valor. This is a 3-hit combo where it just summons a bunch of swords. It does damage to, well, yeah, everything that's around you. Massive amounts of damage. These two give you a cure potency of 400, restores your MP, and then of course this one also gives you a cure potency of 400, but it also applies a dot. Now, it's good to know that Blade of Valor does not stack with Gorgon Blade dot, so you don't really want to overwrite Blade of Valor with Gorgon Blade, and you don't, you know, you almost won't ever overwrite Gorgon Blade with Blade of Valor, but if there's ever a situation, you gotta kind of pick which one's gonna last longer. So it's not that common of an issue. Now, something to note is prior to 6.1, it used to be you would blow Requiescat, you would use 4 Holy Spirits, and then on the final stack of Rec, you would use that on Confidier. And then Confidier would turn into the rest of the combo. So Blade of Faith, which would then turn to Blade of Truth, which would then turn to Blade of Valor. Now that kind of left Paladin players with a bit of a oops situation that would sometimes happen, because it happened to me a few times, where you fat finger your Holy Spirit or Holy Circle and you miss out on Confidier. So now you miss out at level 90 on a ton of damage, because when you miss Confidier, you also miss your blade combos, right? And it was kind of a problem. Like, it was a big oops. It was one that really punished you very, very, very hard. Like really ridiculously hard. So what they did with 6.1 was they added a little diddly to Requiescat, where now, in addition to granting you 5 stacks of Rec, which allows you to cast Holy Spirit or Holy Circle for no cast time, it also grants you can see here, Blade of Faith ready when the effect of Requiescat ends. So, very similar to Primal Ren ready in a release, when your Requiescat is all used up, you're going to gain Blade of Faith ready. So if you happen to accidentally fat finger that extra Holy Spirit or Holy Circle, you will miss out on Confidier, but you're no longer completely locked out of your Faith, Truth, Valor combo anymore. You can now still perform them. It's not going to be a big deal. You'll only lose a little bit of damage instead of big damage, and that's really cool. And that is absolutely amazing. And that's not even to talk about like the utility of these abilities as they are. So basically, and I can't really think of a boss because obviously I don't do extreme trials, I don't do savage content, but if there's ever a boss where you have to dip out for an extended amount of time, you have both a ranged and a melee combo. So you'll go in and you're obviously going to start off with your melee combo. Throw that Gorgon Blade up. You got your Fight or Flight up. This is all for your melee stuff. Pretty standard stuff here. You know, blow all this down. You're gonna reapply Gorgon Blade. A little slow on that, so I didn't quite catch it. And then, now Requiescat's up. And now say you gotta dip out. Oh, I gotta get out, right? Well, you can sit out here from the safety, away from the boss, and his AoE. Do your Holy Spirits. Confidier, boom, and now you get your blades. Well, bam, that's 1. Well, bam, that's 2. Well, boom, that's 3. And then you go back in, and you do your thing. And then, of course, Fight or Flight is back up and running, so you would blow that. I'm not going to do it, obviously, because I'm not going to keep going. But you're just going to keep doing your melee stuff. And you'll see when Blade of Valor is about to drop off, you'll reapply Gorgon Blade in its place. There you go. That's what you got. Like, you have range, you've got melee, and you got some cool animations. That sword combo is pretty wild. I mean, look at now that I got full gauge, you can check out Holy Sheltron here's. Boom. That's pretty cool looking. Not gonna lie. It's nice. It's pretty fun. Okay, so that's pretty much the majority of things that have changed. Those are all the new goodies that we got. Really not much else about Paladin has changed, with the exception of the one thing I almost forgot, Divine Veil. So previously, um, in, let's see, this was learned at 56. So yeah, this was around for Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, and Shadowbringers. All three of those expansions. Divine Veil was kind of an iffy cooldown to use. It was a nice to have, but you never really focused on using it to save your skin. It was kind of like a just there. And the reason for that was because it was reliant on your healer. And as we know, of course, healers are just green DPS. And most of them rely on throwing OGCD heals on you when you're in trouble. And that's why it's very important for tanks to make use of their mitigations to allow the healers to DPS more. So Divine Veil was always an iffy thing because you couldn't do anything about it. Now Divine Veil can be popped by yourself. So if you pop Divine Veil, pretty cool animation, and then you Clemency, boom, you can get the effects of Divine Veil. Now, that works for, I think, all of the other heals you can do as well. So like Holy Spirit heal or Holy Circle heal. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I'm almost certain you can do that. It's pretty nice. It's a nice little utility that they added in. Everything else is more or less the same since like a Realm Reborn, man. It's just, you know, typical cooldowns, Rampart, Arm's Length, Sentinel, Hallowed Ground. Hallowed Ground is still, it's good oh shit button. It's good oh shit button, but it ain't the best. It's got too long of a cooldown. I mean, it's nice that for 10 seconds you're completely immune, but still not as good as Home Gang. Just throwing it out there. But it's good. It is a good solid addition. It's just got a really long cooldown. That's all. But yeah, everything else is pretty much business as usual. Now, how does this job compare to how it was back in the day? It's definitely a lot more fun. I enjoyed playing it. I enjoyed leveling it. I remember back in A Realm Reborn, it was, but to be fair, in A Realm Reborn, until you hit level 50 and got Circle of Scorn, you had no AoE as a paladin. Your 1-2-3 combo was Fast Blade. We had Riot Blade, but no one ever used it. It was Savage Blade, so it was Fast Blade, Savage Blade, Rage of Halon. Riot Blade was in there somewhere, but it was kind of like you would do a Fast Blade, Riot Blade, and then you'd have to, that was it, that was the end of your combo. So it was almost never worth using. And the only AoE that we had was a cross-class skill called Flash. Anyone who played back then will remember Flash. It was a deals no damage, point blank on the player, AoE all around them that just gained aggro. That's all it was. It was just aggro gain. That's what Paladins had. That was Paladin AoE. Luckily, come, I believe it was Heaven's Ward, we got Total Eclipse. So now we had this, and then eventually they added in Prominence. So we got now the 2-hit combo. That's very nice. That made Paladin a lot more bearable to play. Yeah, and then they got rid of Savage Blade. Now it's Riot Blade as part of the main combo. Rage of Halon is still in the game up until you learn Royal Authority at 60. Then it gets replaced. Goring Blade was added in Heaven's Ward, which gave us a DOT. And yeah, just, the usual things. Adding cooldowns, a couple new damage abilities like Atonement, Confiteor. Really not much has changed, but I will say, like, compared to A Realm Reborn, where, Paladin shtick was supposed to be that they could cross-class White Mage, I'm sorry, not White Mage, Conjurer skills, so they could cross-class, like, Cure, Stone Skin, Protect, Raise, but you never used any of them. Like, you just never did. So Paladins were very boring. It was 1-2-3 combo all day, with, Spirits Within and Circle of Scorn every now and then, and just rotate your cooldowns. That was it. That's all it was. It was boring. It was snooze fest. Nowadays, Paladin's fun. I would highly recommend doing it. we're gonna wrap this video up real quick. It's already going on about 20 minutes. So fashion wise, I mean, Paladin fashion, I mean, it's your standard tank fashion. It's hard to tell right now because obviously I've got my PvP glamour on right now, but their weapon, you know, you saw me with it out. It's your standard like Paladin weapon. This is the job weapon and shield from Endwalker. Don't laugh at my armory chest. Let me see if I can show you guys the no, that's not it. Here we go. Save outfit so we can just show you what the class gear looks like. Reverence bomb. Reverence boom. So of course I just can't believe I just did that. Unbelievable. Let's do it again. Oh good, it saved it. Okay, so obviously, like, here we go. This is what the job gear looks like. It's the same stuff you saw in the trailer. It's really not that different. I think for Paladin, it looks pretty nice. I do love the details on the set. Definitely fits Paladin. It definitely gives you that like Holy Night vibe. I think the only failing of this set, the only thing that disappoints me about this is we've got this awesome like cloak cape on the back with the hood, and we cannot choose to, alternatively to this crown that no one's ever going to show, we can't choose to put the hood up. We can't do it. It doesn't give us that option. I think if they allowed us to put the hood up like he did in the beginning of the trailer, I think it would be a lot better and a lot cooler. I think it would get more bonus points from me. As in terms of skills, I mean, their skills are pretty flashy. You saw the sword combo. Sword combo is amazing. These guys are doing a map right behind me, so I'm gonna run away from that. Sorry. But you know, their skills are pretty flashy. Everything looks good. It looks nice. It feels good. It feels nice. My overall thoughts or summary of the class, I would say it's a 9 out of 10. It's definitely an awesome tank to get into and to play. Do I like it as much as Warrior? No. Will I ever like anything as much as Warrior? No. But I will say this is a 9 out of 10. It's definitely fun. It's super fun now. If this was a Realm Reborn Paladin, I'd say no, stay away from it. But Endwalker Paladin, level this thing up because you're gonna enjoy it. If you like tanking, you're gonna enjoy Paladin. So that's my video, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I do apologize for rambling on. You guys know I'm very long-winded, but if you like what you saw, please hit that thumbs up button. If you want to see more content from my channel, or you want to just stay in the know about when I post up the next job review video, please hit the subscribe button. It'll really help me out. It'll help my channel grow, and I really love you guys for it. If you have any thoughts or comments you want to make, please leave them down there in the comments section down below. And I will be doing Dark Knight next. As soon as I get it leveled up, I'll let you guys know, and I'll do a video for him. So thank you very so much. I'll see you guys in the next one.